Hello.
Hello everyone and welcome to CR's Nintendo News. In today's program we have the following headlines: Nintendo Direct before Gamescom opening night live, Breath of the Wild 2 Collector's Edition and Metroid Prime 4 VTT rumor, Skyward Sword HD leak, Indie World brings a number of games to the Switch eShop, more timeline videos and other big videos incoming. Now then, before we begin, be sure to leave a like as it helps tremendously and subscribe if you haven't already. So let's get into the first story. Nintendo Direct before Gamescom opening night live. We might be in for a proper Nintendo Direct, which credible leakers VGC, the Video Game Chronicles, Jeff Grubb on Twitter and Nate the Hate have hinted at, and which are likely to play sometime during Gamescom or within the first half of September. This time slot makes a lot of sense as Gamescom and Tokyo Game Show, unlike E3, were not cancelled but instead turned into online events. Nintendo has never had an official presence at Tokyo Game Show, but have each year been represented by Nintendo of Europe at Gamescom, with booths in both the public and press area, which I was able to experience last year while attending Gamescom. Though this year, obviously, the event has been turned digital and Nintendo pulled out. Sadly, it has not been replaced with anything officially as to this point. Or at least it would seem like it. But there are some patterns that are interesting. Number one, normally Nintendo's indie presentation takes place the same week as Gamescom. But this year, as we'll soon get back to, it took place the week before Gamescom opened. In other words, VGC, Jeff Grubb and Nate the Hate might be up to something. Namely that instead of hosting a Nintendo Direct in the first week of September as Nintendo has done the last 3 years, 2017, 2018 and 2019, we could see a Nintendo Direct during Gamescom week in the last week of August. This does make sense. E3 2020 was cancelled, so we didn't get any big Nintendo E3 Direct this year. And who's to say if it was simply moved to the week of the world's second largest gaming event, Gamescom in Germany. After all, Nintendo has only revealed 2 new games so far in 2020, and both of them, 51 worldwide games and Paper Mario the Origami King, are already out. Pikmin 3 Deluxe was revealed through a Twitter post and YouTube upload, but that was the smallest of all the rumored titles for this year, which as we all know includes the Super Mario 35th Anniversary Remasters, Super Mario 3D World Deluxe, Zelda Skyward Sword HD and the combo of the Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. But then again, none of these are new games, as the only new games that we currently know about and which are under development are The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel and Metroid Prime 4. Nothing else is known in regards to new games from Nintendo, and in any normal year, E3 will be the stage to reveal new games and bigger third-party ports. Just as it was the case with Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel and The Witcher 3 last year. More on The Witcher in our next headline. All in all, a reasonable rumor, which we hope comes to fruition as we need at least one proper Nintendo Direct this year, with new game reveals, new trailers for already announced games, the yearly update to Nintendo Switch Online, and some more. We're not getting our hopes up too high though, and definitely not 100% expecting a new Breath of the Wild 2 trailer as we already got badly burnt back in July. If things are really bleak for Nintendo when it comes to the brand new games, then we might end with another Nintendo Direct mini partner showcase, or at the best a Super Mario 35th Anniversary Direct. Alternatives that we have talked about is separate videos. But most of all, keep your expectations in check, and be positively surprised if we get more than what we have got used to in 2020 so far. Well, that and finally shaving or severely trimming down my beard. Next story please, which is Breath of the Wild 2 Collector Edition and Metroid Prime 4 VTT leak. An alleged Breath of the Wild 2 Collector's Edition was listed on the French retailer website VTNTs for the alleged price of €82.85, around $100 US. Not only that, it also had the regular edition of the game listed for €70. Many jump quickly to conclusions, especially since this is the same website that leaked the presence of The Witcher 3 for Nintendo Switch last year before E3, and thought that this was simply already a credible leak of the game being closer than we think, since, after all, Breath of the Wild 2 kind of started development in the end of 2017. But there are 2 things that made us skeptical when it comes to this listing. First and foremost, the placeholder release date of December 31st, 2020, typical for announced but not confirmed to be released in said year games. After all, Breath of the Wild sequel still has no official title. It's called the sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but most just call it Breath of the Wild 2, and that is also what VTNT has listed it as. And secondly, and this one made us completely doubt the credibility of this leak, was a similar listing for Metroid Prime 4 on the website. Believe it or not, but it was listed with an alleged release date of October 30th, 2020, the same day as Pikmin 3 Deluxe. In other words, it is highly likely that all of these listings are fake. With that being told, we would love for Breath of the Wild 2 to release early in 2021, hopefully as close as possible to The Legend of Zelda's 35th anniversary on February 21st, but time will tell. Speaking of Zelda Skyward Sword HD leaked. Still, we're not done with alleged Zelda leaks, as Skyward Sword HD popped up on Amazon UK and Instant Gaming's websites. Instant Gaming even listed it for a 2021 release. Is this a sign that Skyward Sword HD is on the way for its 10th anniversary and Zelda's 35th anniversary in 2021? Or could we see this HD remaster even this year? Sound off in the comment section down below. And now finally for something that is not about rumors, leaks or any of the sort, since Nintendo hosted a very interesting Indie World, which was its second Indie World of 2020 on August 18th, which included a number of new game announcements where some are already released and even on sale in the Nintendo eShop right now. Sadly, we don't have time to go over the games individually, but we will list a complete list of games in the description if you are interested. Anyhow, preparing for trouble and making it double with Untitled Geese Game, 2-player Honking Mayhem in Untitled Goose Game was my definitive highlight. Was hoping a moment for a sequel, but being an asshole with a friend sitting next to you is definitely a great way of bringing us back to this gem of an indie title. Now let's get over to some third-party news. Since it's Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 Remake and Crash Bandicoot 4 coming to the Nintendo Switch, since two of the biggest non-Call of Duty games are likely heading to the Nintendo Switch, though it looks like both will join the growing list of Switch games launching in 2021. First out, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2, as Darth Bellic on Twitter investigated the demo files of the game and found the UI for the Nintendo Switch Pro Controller, Switch On-Dock Play and the Joy-Con grip within the files. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 is the perfect game for quick sessions. In other words, it will be a brilliant fit for the Nintendo Switch, and hopefully it launches not too long from now. Fingers crossed for those direct rumors. Seriously, the only Nintendo news these days are, as I mentioned already, either leaks or rumors. At least thanks to them, it looks like Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time will also find its way to the Switch, but not alongside the PS4 and Xbox One. I wonder when it's about time for Crash 4 to make it to the Nintendo Switch. My guess is 2021, but hopefully we could see it sooner. Ubisoft doesn't want to be worse, and Prince of Persia Remake might have been leaked and also confirmed to be coming to the Nintendo Switch. Ubisoft doesn't want to be worse than Activision, and according to the Guatemalan retailer Max, a remake of Prince of Persia might be on the way, likely also to the Nintendo Switch. More interestingly, former Kotaku member Jason Schreier supports the notion, and the only thing that remains is to wait for Ubisoft's next digital event, which is taking place in September. But as with most of the other stories this week, they are just rumors, unlike our upcoming plans, which includes non-Breath of the Wild 2, Zelda theories which are coming back. Zelda theories will return to this channel this upcoming Monday and might already be in the end card depending on when you're watching. Next we have a brand new Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 miniseries. A 4-part miniseries on how Breath of the Wild 2 could become the best Zelda game ever. Part 2, which is also with Zeltic, will go up in less than 2 weeks time, but the upload depends on the views of the first part and on whether we get a Nintendo Direct during Gamescom. Next, I can confirm that Timelines return to the channel. Another timeline video is in the works and will go up in September, naturally featuring Jason Dameron as one of the narrators. We're also working on a big gaming documentary which will also launch in September, since we are planning another big documentary video which for now remains a secret. We also have some other projects we're working on, which obviously means that Game vs Game will return with new gaming duels in the coming months. We hope for some Mario duels and a big third-party one. Obviously, we'll also be doing other videos, but more on them after we finally get a proper Nintendo Direct. And that's pretty much all of it. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already to the channel, and enjoy one of these two awesome videos. Anyway, girls and guys, we'll see you in the next one.